What are we
What's up,
giggling about?
What? I just ripped out my headphones. God damn
What are we laughing
it!
about? I want to laugh.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the 10th episode of the Envision Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Brad's Gaming, and as always, I'm joined by Clownish Joe
Hello, everyone.
and Triple Bravo.
Howdy, folks.
Now, we are just three guys passionate about video games and different interests, so hopefully we can cover all of the avenues today. And today we're discussing PC gaming. And as always, jumping into how's your week been going, Joe?
Well, I've actually had a pretty good week. I've been grinding through my backlog of games and making some progress. Get a little more into that in our next segment.
Mm-hmm.
But the highlight of my week is I got my consultation scheduled for my next tattoo, which is going to be a Nightmare Before Christmas tattoo from knee to ankle. So pretty much like a half a leg sleeve. The actual tattoo probably won't be scheduled till about December, but excited nonetheless.
I honestly thought that you were naming a tattoo artist when you said knee to ankle.
It's just it's like a butterfly collage or something. What do you got going on?
Yeah.
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 No, it's Nightmare Before Christmas. Pretty much leaving it up to the artist, but I'm telling her basically the characters I want in it, and then like giving her a list of anything extra of how I value the extra characters, and then just letting them do their thing.
Yeah,
But
when you said that, I got kind of inspired to do like
yeah,
a horror themed tattoo on my leg.
I also want to finish my sleeve, get my one tattoo removed from my arm, and then possibly a Zelda sleeve in the future.
There you go.
But I'm hooked on tattoos, so I don't want to get back into that because it'll ruin all this for me. New additions to my collection. Although not a video game, I did pick up Tom and Jerry, the movie from 1992. I did get to 2002 edition on DVD since I don't feel like lugging my VHS all the way up here. But how about you, Bravo?
I had a pretty good week as well. I got the wood floor removed out of my bus. There's a sheet metal layer below that, and thankfully it's not very rusted or anything. So I think I'll probably keep it and just cut out what I need. So it's going to save me a little bit of time there. I also removed the rear bus heater, which when I was in school we never had, but I'm sure fancier schools had them. But it essentially uses the motor coolant to cycle through a radiator to push heat into the bus whenever it's cold. Which I'm sure, since my bus is from the north, that's why it has it there. But it's got a whole lot of hose running, or did have a lot of hose running through the bus to get to that back radiator. So I was kind of dreading removing it, but finally got it removed. So I can pretty much start building up now. Not too much destruction left. Yeah, I need to spend some money now to get equipment, supplies, and whatnot. So kind of dreading that. Even though like I've committed to the bus, I'm still very frugal with my money, so it's hard to spend so much money at one time. I'm really liking these cooler days that I've had, so I've gotten quite a bit of work done on the bus. Yeah, everything else is going pretty good. Work's good, gaming life's good. What about you, Brad?
Well, I doing the usual house hunting.
Oh,
So
boy.
we haven't put an offer in. I don't even know how many days it's been now. It's like 12 days and they haven't responded to us. They're like just playing this weird game with us now. It's kind of obnoxious, but whatever. We looked at a different home, and honestly, it was kind of cool. We walked into it, and it was kind of like going back in time to the 80s. It was clearly like whoever owns it right now, their like second home, a ski home. And they don't have a flat screen TV in the entire place. It's all tube TVs. And you walk in, all furniture and everything is straight out of the 80s. They had like a PlayStation 1 hooked up, and it's kind of cool to see it. So I like that.
That's pretty
In the
cool.
basement, they had this old like retro 1976 pinball machine called an Aztec, like an Aztec pinball machine. I researched it, and it's like, I mean, it was a pretty mint condition down there. And I mean, I don't know if it works plugged in, but looking at it, there was no cosmetic flaws to it. So thought that was kind of cool just to see in general. But other than that, I don't know why I haven't slept in over 36 hours so far. I just last night I went to lay down, and as soon as my head hit the pillow, my eyes got even wider, and I started seeing sound and everything. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna get up. Started doing some research on things. And it kind of goes into one of my other points, which is I decided to also collect a few other niche things along with my horror stuff. So I don't know if it's the me being tired and lack of sleep that's making it. And as soon as I go to bed and I wake up, I'm like, this is stupid. I'm not. But I I really love collecting PlayStation 1 games. So I think I'm gonna grab a bunch of like the big titles. So originally I wasn't going to, but like getting the Crash Bandicoots, the Spyro,
Rock.
yeah, Croc, Gex, um, any of that's Tomb Raider. You know, any of those main games, I'm probably gonna end up grabbing them because I just think they're cool on the shelf. And then the other thing along with that kind of goes into play with Joe, and he was making fun of it. I'm not gonna go as deep as him, but I think it would be cool to grab all the games that are themed around like the mid to late 90s, early 2000s, like cartoons. So getting, I don't like, there's an Ed and Eddie game on the PlayStation 2.
Yep.
All the Rugrats games, just a whole bunch of stuff, you know. Anything that's mainly on PlayStation, 1, 2. That's where I'm kind of drawing the line. I just thought that'd be kind of cool because it's like I'm a big nostalgic person, so
Hmm.
I really reminisce about old times. So I'm like, oh, those are the good times.
I
That's what I
feel
want.
like this 80s house is like made for you.
It honestly,
For the
I
old
wouldn't mind
consoles,
grabbing it.
the CRT TVs are what you're looking
Mhm.
for, baby.
It
You
it was pretty cool. I can't lie. And like I even looked at the games that they had. They had some decent games. I mean, they were just discs loose in a little like DVD binder,
you guys
but
ever
they had a couple
read
some.
or watch the Ready Player One series?
I've watched the movie.
What about
I
you,
have
Brad?
not.
No, it basically like the creator of like that video game is like obsessed with the 80s. So there's a whole bunch of references and stuff. But reminds me of that house.
Yeah, I've wanted to actually watch it just from that, but if you know anything about me, I don't watch any movies. I know zero about movies. My fiance always
Yeah.
makes fun of me about it because I can't.
Well,
It's not like I want to watch movies. I just feel like I don't have the time. Like I barely have the time to play games and stuff. I feel like all I do is I'm like traveling and going to visit people
yeah,
and driving all the time. It sucks.
I feel that.
And the last thing to add to that also is I've also added a bit to my collection, mainly just been strategy guides. Um, I did get one Pokemon Moon in the Pokemon Ultra Moon for the 3DS, and then it's mainly been like Silent Hill 4 strategy guide that came in, Silent Hill Downpour strategy guide came in, Alan Wake, and I can't remember the other ones. That's about it.
Hmm.
But how about games we've been playing? Bravo?
Well, I've got about 4 or 5 more hours in Battle Sector, sitting around 16, 17 hours of play. I think I'm over the hump. I'm over halfway done with it now. I'm still enjoying it. I just haven't had a whole lot of time. Played a couple of games of League, but not too many. Pokemon Unite, played a couple games. It's, it definitely slowed down for me. I not a whole lot of incentive to go back and play. I have been. I'll be watching it from a distance to see exactly how they patch the game or introduce new Pokemon, like we said in the previous episode, it's really going to come down to how they treat the community and how that game survives. But
I feel like Pokemon Unite, by the time that I'm actually able to play it when it comes to like mobile, like iOS or whatever, it's gonna be completely dead.
no, I don't think there's a future
It'll have another
where,
breath of life. It's
yeah.
like big blow up whenever it comes to mobile.
All right, let me rephrase it. In our group of circle here, it's gonna be long gone.
Yeah, probably. But
Yeah.
the fact that it's a mobile game and it's cutesy and it's got Pokemon, like there's no way it ever dies. But in the Envision circle, probably.
Yeah.
I'm still playing that Orna mobile game, probably the most out of all of them, just because it's so convenient. And then I don't know if you guys remember this, but a couple episodes ago I mentioned that I bought an adult themed video game off of Steam because it was on sale and the reviews were
That's why
hilarious.
you bought it.
Yeah,
That's why he says he bought it.
well,
He's
no,
like, I bought it because it was on sale.
yeah, it was on sale because that's how I found it. Like I was scrolling through, and it was the top of the list for games on sale, but the reviews were crazy. So I picked it up, and it's actually better than it has any right to be. So I paid $8 for this thing, and it's like a Diablo Path of Exile knockoff, but your main character is just like a sexy lady that you can customize, and they just like get lingerie as like cosmetics. But you can
say
toggle
that again slower.
lingerie. But you can like toggle the armor on and off, and if you toggle the armor on, it's like a normal like like fantasy style game. But the combat is like a chess match because the monsters aren't like too terrible to fight, but you can get stun locked, so you have to like fight them in like different ways or whatever. Like it's not a good game, but it's just funny that it's the quality that it is. But anyways, Joe, what about you, brother?
Well, I've actually had quite a busy week in the terms of gaming. We did finish Plague Tale Innocence on the PlayStation. Quality game. Uh, it the story was pretty good. It got a little predictable towards the end, but overall enjoyed the game. I think it's more of an atmospheric game than anything, is how I'd classify it. Worth a playthrough if you haven't. The second one that they announced during E3 has my interest significantly more now. I don't know if it'll be a day one pickup for me, but it's definitely one I will play. I got
So
good.
before you move on with that, if you're gonna the official Envision Gaming rating, what do you give
Which
it?
is a 13-point scale, 1 to 13.
13-point scale.
So out of
13 is
13,
horrible. 10 is perfect. 5
one,
is
one is not even a
perfection.
game.
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna give it a 11, and you do what you want with that.
Ooh. It's dumpster trash.
Realistically, like 1 to 10, I'd probably give it about a 7. Could be easily brought up with a little bit more like mechanics to the game. It got quite repetitive towards the end, and they were just adding things to add things that I don't know. Without spoiling it, y- it gets bland, mechanic wise, but story story is what brings it up. Atmosphere is what like skyrockets the game. They did amazing on like the world building. I also played a bit of Turok and Turok 2 on the N64. Had those come in at the beginning of last week. God, they're rough to play.
Yep.
So the
man.
N64 control as isn't the most comfortable thing, but whenever they make it that the joystick is what aims and then like the C buttons are what move your character, it's just completely backwards to me because every other way you play a game, you move with your left hand and aim with your right. Not Turok. I've also played a bit of Rush Royale, which is a mobile game. I finally found one, and I'm having a good time with it. It's like a tower defense style game that's PvP. I assume it's made by the Clash Royale creators or like Clash of Clans, but I've played Bit of League, pretty much every day. Still going on that streak. Finally feel like I'm noticing some progress in myself. Feeling good about it. And then I've played a boatload of Skyward Sword for the Switch because I want to get through my Zelda games, and Skyward Sword is the one I'm most invested in currently. And I went from about 4 hours when we recorded the last podcast up to about 16 hours today. And I thought I was going to beat the game about 5 times already, and it just keeps going.
Like in a bad way or good?
No, so whenever I first started the game, like the first 4 hours, I was like, meh, this is just kind of like they just slapped a Zelda skin onto a game that isn't good. But now I'm like emotionally invested in like thoroughly enjoying the game. And I'm probably, if I were to guess, maybe 60 to 70% through,
Hmm.
but I don't realistically know. Good game. Brad, how has your busy week been?
Oh, I'm busy.
Thanks.
Anyway, so yeah. Went and I sat down on Saturday at the girl's place, and she had the 3DS and was playing some puzzle game. It's like a crossword puzzle game that I bought on the 3DS. And then I was playing Silent Hill Book of Memories some more. I actually restarted it quick because I big dumb and I forgot something. So there was also this one point I didn't know if it mattered or not, but there are these like special rooms that you can have different outcomes happen. It's either a good, a neutral, or a bad outcome. And the first time I had no idea what I was doing, and I was basically playing tag with this little girl that's a ghost. And she kept saying, "Get away from me," and I just kept tagging her. And then it was like, "Oh, you had a bad rating. You didn't listen to her or whatever." And I went back through it, the tutorial level essentially, and did that where I have no idea how I ended that. I just didn't move for a while, and then it just worked. But I got to the first boss, so I played about 2 hours that day, two and a half, I would say. Fought the first boss, and it was pretty cool. I mean, you get some actually decent weapons. There's been no difference between like attributes to them, so it's not so far. Let me state that too. Like, it's not like you get a fire dagger or some special element to a weapon. It's just here's a weapon. Here's a pistol. Here's a pistol. Here's a dagger. Here's a maul, a club, a bat, whatever. Um, it's been fun. I actually really enjoying it a lot more than what I initially thought.
How's the
And
Vita in general treating you?
Vita's honestly, it's pretty good. And like the battery stays alive so much longer than 3DS. I'm kind of surprised. I don't know
I
why.
I'm so sad that the Vita didn't take off like it absolutely should have.
The biggest negative that I feel with the Vita, and this is just the little research I've done, is that if you're not into JRPGs, you're probably not going to be a big fan of it
Yeah,
because
it's just
it's like
Sony didn't.
90%
It
JRPG.
was a issue of Sony not giving it the support it should have gotten.
Yeah. I mean, it's if you can grab one right now and while the store is alive, and I mean, the games are cheaper digitally than physically by far. I mean, I don't think there's a physical game under like $40 for the Vita. So you're going to be paying a good chunk, and half of them are like 10, $15 in the store.
If they up the quality just a little bit for that sucker, I wouldn't say that it would compete with the Switch or the deck, but it's still like relative. Like you don't even have to change the size too much. You just upgrade the hardware
If it
and
compete with the DS is like the realm
yeah,
it's
yeah. It's
in.
like it's like
Well,
the
it
in
was
between, right? Like in my head, their newer
so
quality would like be the in between. It'd be pretty cool.
it. You got to remember, I think the Vita came out in like 2012. Like, thing is pretty old
Mm-hmm.
actually, and the funny thing is, it had an OLED screen from the first rendition, the one that I have right now,
Mm-hmm.
just like what it was pushing out for the for they're doing for the Switch right now, right? Realistically, it's a pretty solid console. It had some decent like big titles on it too. I mean, this Silent Hill game, it's not like it's a little budget flash style game. It's decent. The Uncharted game is a super solid Uncharted game too.
I actually have the Uncharted game. I just don't have a Vita.
Yeah, it's really good. I've played it and beaten it, and it's solid.
Yeah, my brother had the Vita and ended up losing it, so now I'm trying to get my hands on a Vita.
Yeah. And then just moving on quickly so we can get over this. Lastly, I've been playing a little bit of Hearthstone. Expansion comes out tomorrow. We're recording this on Monday. At least it's Tuesday. So, just been kind of cleaning up some quests. Played a little bit of Battlegrounds with Joe. Got Papa Bravo in for one game. He got last.
I was very tired.
He's
and
Bravo's like me in Battlegrounds. Like Bravo's like me in Battlegrounds as I am in like League.
yeah, like I joined.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
I knew I was gonna get dumpstered on, and I just kept getting taunt cards. I'm like, screw it. Oh, we're doing a taunt deck, whatever that looks like, and it went about as good as you would imagine.
Yeah. As long as you have fun, that's all that matters. You
Yeah.
probably did.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Because I don't have that much fun playing Battlegrounds sometimes. Depends on my mood.
I mean, it was fun just messing around with you guys, being a part of the group. You know, little bleeding heart. That's me.
One little happy family.
Yeah. Speaking of happy family, let's see if we can split this one up with the next Guess the Price game. You guys ready for this?
Ooh.
Bam, 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 bam.
Must redeem myself.
A clean sweep, baby.
So I've been remiss in my duties. I believe, since this is episode 10, which by the way, whoop whoop, episode 10.
Double digits?
We are what's the actual score? You know,
I've lost. Well, it's
2.
now 7-2. for
but
me.
did we do one the first episode? Because the first
I
episode
don't-
we did the
I don't
bad
believe the
game
first
battle.
episode we did.
Not the second
Guess
episode
the
we
game.
did.
Yeah,
Bad
so
game
6
battle.
and 6 and 2.
Something like that.
Sounds-
Something in 2.
All right, the official number, because I don't want to go back and count, is 6 for Joe, 2 for Brad. Brad's heating up, okay?
Well, I've only.
Brad's only participated in 3 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's heating up. He took a week to calibrate, and now he's
NBA Jam, baby.
Actually, it's Brad and I talking back and forth through Discord while while you guys are competing, and I'm like, no, more zeros. Anyways,
I had another 0.
all right, boys. So, in case you're new, I have pulled a number of games from eBay that have been sold at these prices. I'm going to give the boys the details of the games or the thing related to gaming, and they're going to write down the price and show me at the same time. I'll read them off, and whoever's closest gets a W. Best 2 out of 3. So, let's jump into it. First game of the
Before we start,
answer.
are we doing just the most recent sold, or are we calculating an average amongst a few of them?
I take a gander at the various cells of that game or the thing, and I try to find one that's in the middle, but like I'm not taking an average.
Gotcha. I just wanted to know if we were just looking at the most recent, or if we were, finding somewhere in the middle.
Almost always it's within the last week. Like I hardly ever, because I'd have to like click through the pages.
Yeah, that's no, we're good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to confirm for myself.
All right, you rule checker upper. The first game is Scarface. The World Is Yours for the Sony PlayStation 2. Came out in 2006. It has a WADA grading of 9.4. A.
Jesus.
You just ruined the entire thing. I just sold one of these.
Oh boy.
Now I have no
I was
idea.
about to say, I'm pretty sure Brad owns that game and was selling
I do.
it.
I have the Xbox one on sale right now.
Well, what are you
But,
gonna do with all your profits?
It doesn't help when it's water graded because it's
So I assume it's
unrealistic.
sealed. with it being a 9.4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's water graded. It's in the case. It's got the all the stuffs. It's official.
Speaking of which, how do you grade a new game? It's new. Like
PlayStation 2?
How's it
no,
not
no,
10?
no, like you know what I mean? Like you said,
Yeah.
like if somebody sends this in, like what's making it a
Not
0.4
10.
instead of a 10? It's new. I mean, unless like the seal was like ripped, a little dangly,
Yeah, I don't know.
something.
The quality of the plastic wrapping.
I don't. I've
Um,
never seen one above 9.6, even sealed. So
Well, it's like that mentality, you know, like the Olympics are going on and nobody ever gets a perfect 10, right? Because like it's like the human opinion is like, oh,
Yeah, nobody's perfect.
nobody can be perfect.
Yeah.
It's like this is an
Bios
inanimate
can.
object. If it has literally no scratches on it, you know what? What are you grading? Anyways, boys, show me them numbers. Boom, we've got 200
2,000.
$250 and $2,702.00. Interesting, Joe. I guess he's
$2,000.
Joe's taking a loss. Apparently he's taking one to the chin because this sucker sold for $305.
really,
Yeah.
every other water graded game I know is like ridiculously high.
Come
that's above a
on.
9.0.
So, fun fact about this: the normal Scarface games sell for like $250 plus or minus, I'd say $25. So the water grading, like it didn't seem that too crazy. Like there's a number of them that were selling for like
$250
yeah.
That seems off.
for a new game?
Why do you keep saying new?
Like it's
Is it
sealed?
sealed? Like factory sealed new is different than just like complete in box.
All the
Yeah.
Scarface, because I physically like searched for this type of Scarface because once I found one, I searched it to compare it to the others, and they were all above
Mhm.
$200, easy.
So I don't know.
It's so weird.
It's you must be finding other either new like sealed ones because I sold mine for $45.
Maybe you just lost, Brad.
Yeah, bro.
No, that you can literally buy them for. I mean, they're like $40.
I mean, there were pages of this.
Regardless, I feel cheated because Bravo told us before the match he was going to tell Brad the secrets, and then he puts up a game that Brad has.
Okay, that was a joke, and that was a coincidence.
Nope, that's
Okay.
not a coincidence.
All right, I've got another one for you. I hope Brad hasn't recently sold this. Let me check the username here. Yeah.
Throw up a Zelda game for me.
Yeah,
While
this
you're at it.
isn't Brad. So, game number 2 is a game that I've never heard of, so I'm sure you guys are super familiar with it. But it is
Probably not.
Lunar 2 Eternal Blue Complete in Box.
Oh yeah, I know that game.
Sony PlayStation 1.
PlayStation 1. It's an RPG.
Yeah. So this one is it's in good condition. There's nothing like super special about it. It's not water grade or anything. It's just complete in box, good condition. Lunar 2 Eternal Blue Complete.
Yeah.
Let me influence that boy.
I don't know if you could read that.
Well, hold on. Put it down. What are you doing?
Oh, bro.
Mine's written. I was just
Yeah,
making
yeah,
it.
yeah. Okay. Well, what? So, Brad guesses $225, and Joe guesses
47?
swastika 7.
47.
Okay, 47 marked over.
Well, I wrote 42, and then I was like, no, 24, and then I was like, no, 47.
we gotta get you guys some writing lessons or something.
Listen, I've been told at my work that I have the best handwriting. Okay.
I've been told at my work that I have the best.
Well, Brad,
handwriting.
your problem is you just use extra symbols like negative $250.
Yeah, it's because it depends on my mood if I'm feeling like putting a little dash to like differentiate it if I'm going down a list or if I'm not.
I'm gonna
I don't
start
know.
putting tildes above my twos.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this guy sold for $250.
I am 100% being cheated. Bravo and Brad are definitely teaming
Do-
because I've never heard of this game
do
either.
I-
And Brad's over here like,
Okay.
"Yep, I know exactly how much this
Alright,
is because I
alright.
tried
I
to
had
buy
the
it
first
yesterday."
game when I was a kid.
You know what this game is?
Yeah,
What
I
the
had
heck?
it when I was a kid.
What is it? What,
It's just an RPG, a JRPG.
Wow.
And
I
I don't
am
even play
being cheated.
JRPGs.
Wow. Okay, well, I guess this week's Brad's week.
Yep. Well, what's
Let me-
the third game?
What's the third game? Resident
So
Evil
I
2
actually
for
have
the...
I actually have 4 games.
Yes.
I couldn't
Clean sweep.
determine what to do because anyways, the next game is Guilty Gear Strive Ultimate Edition. Okay, this is a Sony PlayStation 5 game.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a brand spanking new game. But it is the Ultimate Edition, you know, like the Master Chief Collection type edition. The golden shower Master Chief selection or whatever the kids are buying.
Actually, I think the first episode. I don't know if we published it though. Remember when we were like, games we're excited about this upcoming month,
Mm-hmm.
and I mentioned this just because I like watching fighting games.
Oh wow.
I don't remember if we posted it or not.
I don't think we did because I don't remember.
I don't think we did. Yeah.
We got 90 and we got $40,000.
$40,000.
All right, we got 90 and 40. So this Ultimate Edition sells for $130. And it's basically just a complete resale on eBay because like you buy the Ultimate Edition straight from, you know, brand new off the shelf for $135. So I don't know.
I don't understand it because it's like common. You go on Amazon, it's
Mhm.
posted there for like $40.
Yep.
And then you go on eBay and they're like $100.
It's so
It's
weird.
like, are these people not smart enough to go check multiple places?
Yeah. All right. So this one's going to be a real test. Both of you guys should be familiar with it. All right. And this was just for funsies.
Right.
We're not keeping points, but if we were, it was maybe worth 4 points. I don't know. Who knows?
Sure, this one's going to be PlayStation 1. Brad, what game did you buy yesterday? That one.
So, so this is I'm just going to read the title exactly as it is. VGA 90 Gold, Grand Theft Auto 3, PlayStation 2, WADA graded 9.6.
Oh, it's the biggest one we've seen.
Ba, 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 ba.
This is on the PlayStation?
PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2. Yep.
It's GTA 3.
That's nice. I have GTA 3 for my Xbox. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
Fair.
it's not PlayStation 1.
Well, I know that, but I wanted to make sure it was a PlayStation because it's worth more on PlayStation than it is Xbox.
I'm giving myself a handicap by putting these sunglasses on because I can't see anything.
This one was just kind of throwback. Like I really just wanted to grab it up. 300.
He's fun. He's cheating.
$300
Show Bravo my number.
for Brad and $500 for Joe. Well, it sold for $265. Brad, what the heck, dude? Am I screen sharing my screen?
I don't know, but I'm just saying he was within like $40 on all of them, and I feel cheated.
You guessed literal thousands on the first game. You absolute madland.
It was a game I've never heard of. You told me it was water graded.
That's true.
Okay, you want to know my hint? My little secret?
You've sold these or purchased these in the recent
No,
week?
majority of games that are water graded seem to be right around that 250 to 350 range.
Yeah, tell me that whenever you look up Ocarina of Time water graded.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I said majority of games. You were not talking about the stuff that's
Burn.
actually like, I don't know, who wants a water graded Scarface?
I do because I like Scarface.
Well,
And it was
then
a
I
good
could
game.
sell you one, and you
Why-
can water grade it yourself.
I don't think it's worth anything near that, but that's just
I
me.
sent you a link, by the way, you guys.
A
to show
link
you
of
you can
every
buy it.
game Brad has touched. Is that way Bravo knows not to put them in the damn game.
I'm just gonna find his eBay account and like look at his history.
And just start putting them in the match
Start-
so he just gets free wins again.
So my guess is when you searched for it, you did something with like new, because for new they're definitely around that range.
No, that's what I did. I found
Okay.
it scrolling through the list, and then I searched for that exact thing to find other ones of that same quality.
Gotcha. Yes, that makes more sense. Because
Yeah.
when you were like, "Dude," I was like, "Did I make a big mistake?
He made a big no-no.
Did I make a real big mistake?"
That was like 8 copies of Mort.
I know. I could have. Oh my gosh, I could have finished up my collection. Could have bought them all.
All right, so that concludes the guest prize game. Brad's on fire, literal fire, and he still has a couple episodes to go to catch up to Joe. Joe
know,
really got the
baby.
advantage, beating up on me.
Yeah, and now you pay me back by favoring one side more than the other. Let's
What
get some Nintendo games next week.
I'm gonna go back to finding like off the wall, strange as heck games or consoles or devices
Bratz.
or whatever.
Some like Bratz doll game. Where...
Okay, I gotta write that down. Make sure I don't look those up. All right, so let's jump into the news. First things first, we are currently in the process of redoing the splash art for our podcast to kind of mark the 10 episode thing, you know, to kind of give ourselves a gift. We really want to get it updated and kind of reflect better what we do. But I think we're all enjoying going through that process. We actually like have an artist hired. She's really, really good at what she does. What do you guys think?
She harasses us daily to get our things together, and we don't tell her anything. We're just like, draw, woman, draw.
She actually messaged me just a moment ago telling me her schedule. She's like, I'm free these days. Feel free to talk to me, please.
So they were in the process of getting it together when I was getting drunk on Friday.
Sounds about right.
Yep, sounds about right. And then they sent me the picture, and all I had for a comment was, I have curly hair. And then she made it curly, and I'm like, perfect.
Perfection.
Perfect.
Next up,
it's super. She's super talented.
Yeah,
Really,
it's gonna
good.
be good. I hope the community likes it. Next up, Amazon Prime recently released that the Lord of the Rings TV show is coming out September 2nd, 2022. So
I'm
13 months away from an absolute dumpster fire or Game of Thrones early style hype and just consuming of content.
So
I am excited.
Yeah.
maybe I should watch the movies.
I am going to come
Dude, let's
through
binge 'em.
this screen and beat the poop out of you, dude.
I actually bought there's like a DVD set or something at Walmart for like $10 a while back. I bought them and I still haven't watched it, but
Are they director's extended cut or?
I think so.
The only
I
way to
don't know.
watch the Lord of the Rings series is the extended director's cut, which puts all the movies at over 4 hours a piece.
Oh. My gosh.
Dude, let's binge them.
It is amazing.
I think I started I watched an hour of the first one and then I fell asleep.
Mhm.
Second one's the best, don't at me.
Fun fact about Lord of the Rings: the books themselves, you have to be in the right mindset to read them because they are long-winded, very like detail-oriented books. Like they're not your standard like what I would call lean books of like modern days. Like modern days, they just like the kind of books that I read. They just kind of get to the point, you know. Like he's here fighting, and then he's here, and then training montage, and then he's here, and those are great. But like back in the day, people had nothing to do but listen to the radio or something, so they were long. And in those same times, people were paid by the word, so that might have had something to do with it.
Wasn't he also writing the books in the trenches of World War One, or is that blown out of proportion?
I think he was developing and like writing the notes for it. I don't know about the actual words of the books, but
that's what I
could see it.
figured.
Yeah, I mean, I would consider
old?
all of that as writing.
What?
Is it really that old?
Yeah. He wrote it like
Wow.
immediately after World War One.
I did not know
Lord of the
that.
Rings is the inspiration for Dungeons and Dragons.
Huh,
And
that's
literally every other fantasy, it is the fantasy genre.
awesome. I actually did not know that. I see. It's funny because the games got me. So I haven't played many of them, but the few that I've played, played a little bit of the Two Towers, I
That's
Mhm.
one I
believe,
played
and
mostly.
then it's a PS3 one, War in the North, and that War in the North is awesome. I would love to get all of us to play that because it has only 3 characters, and everybody picks one. Joe could be the ranger. I don't know what Rob wants to be, a mage or a dwarf.
Whoa,
He
whoa,
wants to be
whoa.
the dwarf. He wants to
Thank
punch
you.
things.
Thank you. God, you don't
And
even know
yeah,
me, Brad.
I don't know. I don't know what you're feeling that day.
I
But
am ranged. Bravo is melee in every game we play together.
Rip and tear. Those are the two qualifying factors for me to play a game.
My qualifying factors: pew and pew.
I just like being tanky usually. But I could be a mage. I could be a mage.
So we got rip and tear, pew pew, and hit me.
Yes, exactly. Um, but yeah, those games got me interested, and that's kind of why I want to watch them. And I gotta sit down and watch them because my fiance is actually a pretty big fan of them.
Oh,
And
good. You got a keeper then.
yeah,
Anyways, moving on. I wanted to put this note in there because of the GTA game that I had in the guess the price game. But GTA 5 recently sells its 150 millionth copy of the game, which is just
It,
bonkers.
it only took 150 million days of it being on the market.
who is still buying it? I don't. I don't understand. Like,
I
who's
feel like everybody in the world has a copy of this game at this point.
yeah. I'll be honest. I don't have a copy of it
Well,
right now.
I have
Like,
like 3.
I've purchased a copy before, but I sold it back. Like, I bought it on the 360 day one, and I
Yep.
haven't bought one since.
I
And
have it on the Xbox One. I have it on the PC. I have it on PS4.
yeah, I've got
why
it.
do you buy it?
I've got it 3
They go on
times.
sale for like $2, and I have like friends that are like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm in the mood to play some custom games on GTA," and I'm like, "Heck yeah, we are."
So
I want to play it on the Commodore 64.
I have it through Steam. I have it through their own website, and then I have it on a console, which I don't have anymore. So you know, I didn't have the console, and I wanted to play it, so I picked it up again. And then I think I had lost my account, or I didn't like that I had to go through Steam, so I just like bought it one day from directly from them, so I could get access to it anytime.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's only 330 million people in the U.S., so half the U.S. owns the game. You know,
I'm
Yeah,
just saying that's how many people play League in a month,
boom,
based off of our numbers from last
take
episode.
that, Rockstar. Yeah,
mic drop, and we're out.
Mike, mic drop. PS5 surpasses 10 million units sold despite stock shortages, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, so they're actually right now selling faster than any other PlayStation. It's the fastest selling console to date, and that's with like shortage of the stock from the CPU
Yeah,
issues.
A lot more
Um,
people have PS5s than people realistically understand.
I wondering if it's like, oh, they're sold, but then there's that one guy that has like a horde of them. It's like his whole
I don't.
entire
I
background.
mean, there's definitely people who have like a handful of them, but I don't think it's that excessive. I mean,
No, I don't
100
think so.
or 10 million copies is not a small number.
No, it's pretty crazy. And going off of that, I read an article where it said that Returnal sold 500,000 now, which
Man,
I feel like it's kind of low, honestly,
I do too.
for especially how I don't know, like the game does look really good,
It
but I
does. It's a new IP, one, and they had the issue with like not being able to save
mm,
in mid run. So I'm sure that put a lot of people off of it.
I think it's also because the I can't think of the developer's name off the top of my head. We could look it up in a second, but I know that they're not. I think it's Housemark actually. They are not really like well known. Like they have certain
Housemark.
fans that are big, but they don't. They make like arcadey style games, which Returnal actually has some of those vibes too. But I don't know. I'm kind of surprised. I don't think we're gonna probably see a sequel to it. maybe we'll be surprised by that. But also, Miles Morales surpassed 6.5 million sales, which is absurd.
Yeah.
Um,
I have noted that we should research and familiarize ourselves with what constitutes success for original IPs. Like, what's a good sale number? What's a good volume to sell? Like, I think we could benefit from knowing more about that. And it sounds like a pretty interesting like portion of an episode or a whole episode. I don't know. I like it. We'll have to
I think it's
experiment with it.
definitely dependent on so many factors.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah.
I know, like for example, Resident Evil 7 was considered like a pretty good success, and it hit like 3 million.
Mm.
So, but like, is Miles Morales considered a big success? I'm sure it is, but who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, it's 6.5. I can't imagine.
Halo Infinite esports will have official crossplay support.
Yeah,
So
so I don't know if they have like in-game tournaments kind of like what Rocket League has or if they're going to just have official tournaments but their news article said that they're going to accept it from anyone, which is strange that they had to say it, but you know, like games like Rocket League, you could technically compete with the PlayStation, but nobody's gonna do that when you've got a PC. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Halo main selling point is going to be the Xbox as opposed to the PC, but they're going to have support for both. And I'm almost positive they did announce there's mouse and keyboard support on console for this one. Hence why they said that.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
maybe it's just them ensuring the community like, hey, even if you've just got a crappy Xbox, you can still compete for monies or something. I don't know. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's good for the community.
Yeah, I mean, I think crossplay in general is a good thing for just about every game
Oh yeah.
because realistically, if there's a ranked system, you're playing against people your skill level, regardless of what you have in your hands that you're playing with.
You just
But
want more people's hands. It's pretty
yeah,
much all.
Mm-hmm.
Halo Infinite also had their tech demo this past week, and the game looks good. I don't know how much Halo you guys like or have played in the past, but
Hmm.
the multiplayer definitely looks like we're taking a step back to Halo 3, which is a very, very good thing in my opinion.
So it's funny you should say that. I picked up Halo for the first time Saturday.
Without me.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, coworker, he's trying to get all the achievements of every game up to the most current one, which is I believe 720 or something achievements.
Hold on. I've been asking you for 6 months to play Halo with me.
Oh, well, I only went over to help him with one thing. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
there's an achievement in Halo Reach where uh, the guys drop down out of a helicopter. I don't remember the name of the thing. It's like a plane helicopter mix. Anyways, you jump out and you have to sprint and jump over some obstacles to get to this invisible elite and shoot him and kill him before he disappears behind a rock. And it's an achievement. It's actually 3 achievements because he drops like a an Easter egg tech pack that gives you some minor story. But since it's done on legendary mode, it actually drops 2, and then you get an achievement for actually killing him. But that one achievement actually allows you to have co-op, so that you like 2 people can DPS him down. So he hands me, I go over to his house. He hands me the controller, and he's like, "Look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna sprint. We're gonna jump, 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 and then you're gonna shoot him with a pistol because the pistol has the scope and not the assault rifle." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Don't worry about it. It's just a pistol. You're gonna use it." So it took us 5 times. It was like nothing, I am one half of an achievement that only 0.26% of the Halo community has. So I'm kind of an expert. I want you guys to know
I'm just
Oh,
offended.
that.
I've only played the first 2 games, so my experience is pretty minimal. I Really enjoyed the first one a lot, but it wasn't until the second one when I hopped on like Xbox Live and started chatting with other 13-year-olds about how I'm gonna murder them
Screaming
and their family.
racial slurs.
Yeah,
Punch
ASL.
with their mother.
I would act real cool and rap my 50 Cent songs on Xbox Live.
No,
I
no,
thought I
you
was
You
real
weren't
didn't.
cool.
one of those kids.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
Hey guys, let's listen to this.
Listen to I would act like I was real cool and I could
How
rap
about
Eminem.
your mom? Anyways.
No, I was honestly I was petrified to talk. I don't know why. I never talked to anybody.
I
I
know,
just
that's why we had to literally drag Brad by his feet with him clawing at the walls to get him
Yeah.
into a Discord.
I just want everybody to know that the podcast was originally Brad's idea, and he's a monster. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah,
Oh my
well,
gosh.
I'm glad I'm a part of it. I'm really enjoying it. So you guys want to jump into PC gaming as a
Yeah.
whole now?
Main topic: PC gaming.
I
So
don't want to.
neither do I. We should just end it here.
That's a wrap, boys. See you next week.
Yep. I gotta go the old poopski.
All right, so let's start this off by kind of comparing the other platforms because we kind of made a series of this, right? Where we've
Yes.
got PC versus
Master Race.
Nintendo versus PlayStation, Xbox, and maybe even including mobile gaming in that group because mobile gaming is the most popular way of playing games. I'm just saying.
You know it.
Okay, we've included it. Mobile gaming superior. Mobile gaming master race.
I
MGMC.
so if you're gonna compare them all, it's definitely hard to because I feel like the reason why mobile gaming is so popular is because everybody has a cell phone that will call out the Blizzard statement from Diablo Immortal when they were like, "Hey, is Diablo Immortal going to be on PC?" No, it's only on mobile phones or whatever. And then some guy comes up and is like, "Is this an April Fool's joke?" And they're like, "Do you guys not have mobile phones?"
Do you not have
And
phones?
yeah, everybody has phones. And
Classic.
I do think that a lot of people probably download some one-off game. My
Candy Crush.
Yeah.
my fiance, she's on like level 3,827 of Candy
Yeah.
Crush, still going at it this day. I don't know how long she's been working at it, but she's a
Obviously,
beast.
the comparing of the platforms is like highly opinionated. I'm a PC master race guy these days. I don't even really have the other consoles anymore. Some of the older ones are collecting dust, but PC's just the way to go for.
Hold on. What are the ones you got collecting dust?
Yeah, you got anything for sale?
Well, I've got my
$5.
my PS3, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. I have an
We talking like
Atari.
the old NES?
Yeah, those
How
are
much you
not
want
for
for it?
sale, sir. Those are not for sale.
I'll give you $5 each.
No. I'll piece part it to you.
Yeah, so I think if you have the right mentality for it, PC is by far the best way to play games. My big thing for it is just I don't like sitting here the whole time because I feel like I'm always sitting in a computer chair, like for work also. And it's like sometimes just like I want to sit in a different chair. um, but at the same time, if I want to talk to my friends and hang out with you guys, I need to be on my Discord and the computer. So yeah.
Hey, you don't have to do anything, okay?
You force me. Did you hear Joe kicking
Yeah,
and screaming? I don't want to be here.
that is true. We do have
Held against my will.
it recorded. Mm.
How I look at the platform war in air quotes, PlayStation and Nintendo are known for their exclusives. Nintendo being family oriented, PlayStation being more in depth when it comes to exclusives. Xbox, I look at they do have their couple exclusives that are really good, like the Halos and the Fables. But I feel like Xbox has a maybe slightly larger like indie platform than PlayStation. I could be wrong. I don't use my Xbox much anymore
Yeah,
because
it's just
everything
your,
available on Xbox is available on PC.
just your feelers. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what everybody does.
PC. I feel like excluding mobile is the most versatile way to play any games. So it has obviously the largest amount of games available, but you're also able to like keyboard and mouse or use a controller or hook up some old like giant joysticks like an arcade machine.
Mm-hmm.
You can
But
do that on console.
yeah, but it's a little more convoluted.
It's just a
It's
USB for arcade console because I tried to
I
be
don't care.
competitive with with
You're ruining my
Tekken Cross
points.
Street Fighter. I
Let me
know.
sound professional. I'm using big words and everything.
Well,
Mo-
let's
Mobile games are the devil.
they really are. They're like cancer. 90% of them are just advertisements for your money. I guess most games are that way.
I think the big thing nowadays is it used to be like a console war. Now it's just pick the platform you enjoy.
Right. And whenever I think about the quote unquote console war, I really feel that it's, made up fighting between the two because they're obviously competing for exclusives.
Tinfoil
But
hat.
yeah, here's a fun fact. McDonald's and Wendy's, they don't actually hate each other. They love making commercials that diss on each other. It's good. It generates hype. It's the
Wait,
exact
McDonald's
same.
and Wendy's hate each other?
No.
Yeah, since when?
They
I never even
love
heard
each
of
other.
this.
I think they're dating actually.
What kind of
Huh.
commercials are you watching?
I don't watch
Where do you
any.
live
I
again?
I have so many ad blockers all the time. I don't watch TV, nothing.
That's why he's got
But
the bus.
let's peel it back, okay? Let's take off the tinfoil hats. Let's peel it back a little bit. Let's go back to the beginning. Far into the past, deeper and deeper, okay? Where did we all start with PC gaming?
The glorious, the best version of Windows available and known to man. Windows 98.
Heck yeah.
Lord,
Oh.
take me back.
So Joe played Windows 98. I started on Windows 95.
Hey, that's your boy.
Your boy is old over here, yeah.
Yes.
What's the matchstick say over here?
So I more than likely started on 95, but like I wasn't old enough to actually like remember 95 very much.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mhm.
because I was born in 96, and by the time I'm old enough to remember, we probably
baby.
upgraded to 98.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm not a boomer.
I'm really curious because I could tell you right now, my family might be if it was possible, they probably would be still using like rocks and chisels and everything just to communicate because when it comes to technology, they know nothing. I mean, my mom, for example, she's had a smartphone for probably, I would say, she hasn't had it forever. I'd say like maybe 9 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
And she still doesn't know how to post on Facebook, like
Oh
a
no.
picture. It's like she'll call me up. How do I post this picture on here? I'm like, "Ugh, how?" But anyways, so I want to know who upgraded our computer from 95 to 98. That's my big question because we did make that transition.
I do not remember how or why, but one of my grandparents they're kind of loaded, kind of wealthy, and they got a Windows 95, and then they were eventually the reason why we got one at home. Like they handed us the old computer and they got a new computer with 98 on it. And I played all my games basically at grandma and grandpa's house, and it was always like educational games, you know?
That was me too. It was
Yeah.
it was at my grandma's house and all educational games.
So, I'm not gonna bounce through any kind of timeline, but it was like Jumpstart, Math Blasters, some games for like kindergarten kids because I had some younger cousins that wanted to play, so they had like ultra easy games and like I don't remember when I played the Tonka construction games, but we played those.
You stealing my game ideas.
Well, no, I
I
mean
was gonna delete that one now.
we're all talking here, and then mixed in with all of that, okay. Whichever one, my grandma or grandpa, whoever bought Oregon Trail did not know what they were buying, because you had
Devil.
educational games and then death, like literal death on the trail.
You died of dysentery.
And I never completed that game, but I played it quite a bit, just trying to figure out what the heck to do. And it was like, why is this so unfair? What am I doing wrong? And it's just a murder game.
Oregon Trail for our next Let's Play.
We should do that.
So
We go until we beat it.
I feel like a weirdo because I never actually played Oregon Trail until
Oh,
way later.
We got to.
Yeah, I mean, I was probably in my 20s when I first played it, and I heard everybody talk about it. I knew about it when I was younger. I just never came across it. But going off of Jumpstart too, the educational stuff. The weird thing is I didn't have all of them in a row. I had like one. I had like first, third, and fifth grade. I don't know what happened to the even numbers, but I only had the odd ones. That was it.
My most educational game I played was Age of Empires. I learned how to micromanage my
Look at Joe actually
townspeople.
playing real games.
Yeah, my dad was a gamer and played on PC, so I just inherited those. I didn't play the boring educational games.
Yeah, good for you.
Hey, they
I
were fun. Okay,
I
so
learned how to form an empire and slaughter my enemies.
Yeah,
it's definitely informative.
I can't remember this other one that I played probably the majority of the time, so it's a shame I can't remember the name, but it's like a mansion, like this evil guy. You have to go stop him, but you have to like get into the different rooms of the mansion. I'll try to find it, but I had no luck looking before the episode. But
Yeah, I had a few more. So a lot because I played the Jumpstart ones, but then I played this one that it took me forever to find a couple of years back. And it was called Gizmos and Gadgets. And I don't remember anything about it too well other than you were this little tiny dude just walking around and you'd go into a door and you'd have to solve a little puzzle putting cogs together
mm-hmm.
and you would get parts to a blimp to build and then you would like race the blimp or something weird and you can
I
color it different colors.
I
It
just
was pretty dumb.
yeah, I just looked this game up. I actually played this game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very strange. um I don't know why that game like stands out so much in my head, but there's no game more for when I was a child that stands out than 3D Dinosaur Adventure. Okay.
Never heard of it.
This is the reason why I collect horror games. 3D Dinosaur Adventure. Because yes, I'm not even kidding. Because
Excuse me?
so all it is essentially a museum that you go into and you walk around and it shows you the dinosaurs and it tells you a little bit about them. It's all educational. But then there's a like garden maze that you go through. And what you're doing is you're just walking around and you might run into stuff and they'll tell you some details. But then you turn around and randomly a T-Rex comes up behind you. And for some reason the guy that recorded the roar of the T-Rex recorded it at 200%. And I screamed and cried and ran away.
That's funny.
And I tried to beat it numerous times, but I could not. So it scared the crap out of me. And the only other PC game I played other than that stuff was Diablo 2 when I was like 11, and I
Skipping
played that.
forward a little bit, are we?
Yeah, I went from 5 to 11.
You went from 3D Dinosaur Adventure to Diablo.
Somebody deleted it. Wait, the Hot Wheels stunt track driver. My game, the game that I also played a ton of. That was probably the second most game I played.
I feel like you'd be on rails in that game.
Essentially. So
Zing.
Get it? Because the Hot Wheels are on the tracks.
Yeah. Anyways, so
press A to ride. That's it.
all you did was drive around this track.
Okay.
Duh. And you'd have jumps, and you could basically just spin your guy either like horizontally or vertically and do like flips. That was it across it. There were no other stunts. You couldn't do anything else, really.
It's amazing that we all have any kind of interest in video games.
The game would run at about 15 minutes, 15 frames a second. No, probably even less than that. It was, but I also had a really bad computer, so it's probably that. All I remember though is doing front flips constantly at the end of this track and dive bombing into a Venus flytrap's mouth.
Whoa.
Okay.
Curveball.
Yeah. Curveball. And then you also flew into a TV screen and broke the screen.
My recollection of PC gaming, I played a lot of RTS games, so Age of Empires, Command and Conquer, Empire Earth. But then I also played like all of the Rainbow Six games. So from like the original Rainbow Six all the way up to now Siege. I've played every one of them. All the Rouge Spear games and all that. So I remember back in the day having to download like an external launcher to be able to play Rainbow Six online and going into chat when I was probably 7 years old and had like the old desk mic that sat up and it looked like a car antenna
Oh yeah.
and talking to people and they were probably laughing at like why some 6-year-old is on playing a game that he should never be able to figure out how to play online.
Cleaning the roller ball out of your mouse when it got all dirty.
Yep. Dude, like I said, I legitimately want to get like an old school monitor and case for a computer and just like build up an old Windows 98 machine and just
Yeah.
put games on it. Like I don't need any online capability, so like it can't be cracked. But I just
I
think
bet
it'd be so
you
cool.
I bet you would be expensive to build something like if you were to get old parts from them because they're probably hard to
You
find.
say that, but I actually have an old computer full of parts right behind me.
Well, if you already have the parts, then yeah, you're kind of golden. It's just finding the operating system probably then.
Yeah, which I'd have to find
You could probably just
probably a
download one online.
yeah. I'm pretty sure they released the source code for it, but
Yeah.
another game I used to play a lot of was Beachhead 2000 and 2002. You literally just sat in like a mounted machine gun and were able to spin in like a 360-degree thing and would just shoot the bad guys running at you.
What
You
was that
basically
again?
just
Beachhead?
Beachhead 2000 and 2002.
So you saying those dates just reminded me, and this is something that Joe and I fell down a rabbit hole for a total of 15 minutes. Can you guess what I'm thinking of?
Hold
right
on,
now?
hold on. My freaking grandpa had this
Yep,
game. He never
that's
let
what
me
mine
play
was.
this game.
My grandfather had it too, and that's how I played it.
There was another one that was the exact, like I swear, the exact same thing, but it was Pearl Harbor.
Well, there's 2000 and 2002, so they're separate. And I think one of them did have a Pearl Harbor like mission because you
yeah,
went through different missions.
I just remember watching him play Pearl Harbor, and you have to like down airplanes and like it's yeah.
I love that
man.
game.
We're gonna
My
have to change
grandfather
this
had it
episode
too.
to nostalgia.
Yeah.
Then
wrong
obviously
with
I
that.
played Doom, and I played a lot of like deer hunting games because my family's a bunch of hunters. And the most important deer hunter game, Deer Avenger.
I played that one.
I
I think everybody's dad or stepdad had that game specifically.
So go because just from being reminded of a few things because like I just looked up the Deer Avenger and the art style reminds me.
The redneck calls and stuff.
Did you guys ever play like the Elf Bowling
No.
or anything
Hold
like that?
on, hold on. We're rolling through memories too fast. I'm getting a headache.
Yeah, if you
What
look
did
up
you
Elf
say?
Bowling, Elf Bowling for Windows, it was 1999. It's weird. I used to play this a ton on my grandma's computer.
Actually, one I've never heard of.
Yeah, It was funny because like sometimes the elves would turn around and they'd like moon you and spank their butts. You'd smash them with a bowling ball.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
They'd be like roasting you. So that and then the main game that I can't believe I forgot for a second is, as I was saying, something that Joe and I both fell down a rabbit hole. I don't know if he remembers for
do.
literally a total of like 10 minutes.
And
And we
I,
both were like,
I can
yeah, it's
still
good.
play it. I still have
Yeah.
it on here.
Backyard baseball.
Huh.
I
Backyard.
love the Backyard series.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That game, I played so much of it. Just Pete Wheeler, best pitcher in the game.
I want to say that
Pablo Sanchez.
I recognize the game, but I never played or owned it. Is there a handicapped kid in the game?
Yeah,
Yes.
Pete Wheeler. I
Wheelie.
don't know if that's like a bad thing that his last name was Wheeler when he was in a wheelchair.
Well, his nickname is Wheelie.
Yeah, Wheels over here. He was fast too. That kid could move.
Kenny Kawaguchi.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
It is amazing. Honestly, I want to play it.
We need to get rolling. We need to get rolling. We hung
Yeah,
out
we
there.
gotta get on it.
We could be here all day.
Got all worked up. So,
So-
you want to take it?
No, you're good. Go for it.
All right. As a whole, the most powerful way to play video games is PC, obviously, because you can build it better than what all of the consoles are. Consoles are just built at kind of for, even though Joe and I have both talked about it, that PS5 really is a powerhouse now.
Mhm.
Nowadays, it's getting a little bit closer between the range of, I would say, home consoles like Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. But still, if you're gonna drop the cash for it, your PC will blow it out of the water.
Yeah, I was gonna make the same comment. You know, where it really is. It used to be night and day difference between PCs and consoles, and now it's so close that some people are opting to have a console just so they don't have to mess with anything PC related. You know, because they're optimized for the games that are sold for them.
Yeah, it was, I mean, not even that long ago, too. Probably 5 to 8 years ago, I would say, roughly, is when it was still a pretty good gap between them. Now, once the PS5 came out, it's like, oof. It's definitely getting close. But yeah, if you're willing to put that large upfront cost, though, there is no competition. And really, you don't have to upgrade it that often. It's kind of like I haven't upgraded mine in literally like 5 years. I haven't touched any of my stuff, and it does everything I need to. But then again, I play Hearthstone.
I was
Yeah.
set to upgrade mine this year, the graphics card, and I'm gonna wait for obvious
Uh-huh.
reasons.
Yeah.
I have a GTX 970.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I have
it's pretty
a
old.
2080 Super in mine, and I got it like literally not even a week before the 3000 series was announced, and then they just became impossible to get.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
If I take mine out and sell it, I could probably make over $1,000 for it, and I paid like 500.
Yeah, I've got a
But
1070, and I really wanted to upgrade to something with ray tracing, but yeah, it's not in the cards right now.
yeah, for just like a ballpark estimate of, we keep saying it's expensive. For example, the RTX 3090, which at the time was like the best card you could have graphics card wise. It was set for retail in September 2020 at release at $1,500. If you look to try to get one on eBay right now, you're looking anywhere between like 2,000 for like a basic one to around 3,000 for, a nice model.
Would
Yeah.
you guys be willing to pay that?
No.
I saw some of them starting the bid at 1,800, and no, no. Mm-mm.
No.
That's
I
like,
always had like, I mean, 500 is, I think, even because I always looked at it like I'm probably going to pay roughly the same for everything across the board. Not like everything exactly, but you know what I mean, like the big stuff, the CPU and whatnot. And once you start dropping 500 a shot, I mean, your
You're buying a
PC's
PlayStation 5.
yeah, I mean, you might as well just buy the PlayStation 5 and it's cheaper. But it's crazy. It's insane the prices.
Yeah, it's definitely expensive to get started, but once you get started, it's nice because you could just upgrade like a piece here and there over the course of its lifetime, and it'll last you quite a while. Whereas once we'll use the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, for example, they move on to the next generation, and then they just slowly start losing all support. And then it's just a box that whatever discs you have work, and nothing else exists for it at some point. But the good thing about PC is you just keep it flowing and just keep it upward to the time, and it doesn't. You can play your games forever.
Then again, at some point we're probably going to see where it's all just going to be through the cloud. That's definitely going to be the way to go.
Yep, but we're not there yet.
Almost.
So, going onward though, multiple online storefronts there are. So you've got so many different options for storefronts for the PC. Between having Steam, GOG, Epic Game Store, then like even BattleNet. I think Twitch even has one, correct? If I'm not mistaken. And
Amazon, not Twitch.
Yeah.
okay, it's Amazon.
It's
Amazon.
connected to Twitch, obviously. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I just know because like I always claim the games, but I've never even downloaded a single thing. I'm like, why not? I'll click that button.
You and everybody else, brother.
Yeah. Like there's Ubisoft's own, I think,
You
storefront.
play,
Yep,
or you
Uplay.
connect now. You connect.
There's so many. And I don't know if Bravo, you're usually the numbers man. Do you want to talk about some of the numbers here?
Yeah, so just Steam, let's give some Steam facts because that's where majority of people go. Where in 2020 they had a revenue of $73.5 billion dollars. All right, that's a lot of dolls, that's a lot of hair. Which is $24.4 billion in profit. And 50% of Steam's revenue is from only 100 games, which I found super interesting. Not super surprising, but interesting. 50 to 70% of the world's PC game downloads are on Steam. It's kind of a hard number to judge because there's various different platforms that don't give out their numbers. But we know the vast majority of people are on Steam. And we sort of covered this in the past where Steam just like hit the mark, like the perfect time to start providing an online store, and they went from doing gaming and whatnot to selling games, and now they're trying to do more hardware type sales. Like they were kind of just in the right place at the right time. There's over 600 virtual reality games on Steam right now, which I thought was pretty interesting because VR is it's turned out to be a niche thing that didn't really take off like people thought would, but it's definitely worthwhile. Like when you get a good VR game, it is so freaking cool. But there's so many out there that just they're in the development phase, like they're just not perfect. Creators have earned over $57 million from Steam Workshop. That is only the Steam Workshop, like the mods and stuff. It's pretty dope. 6,500 games on Steam library can run on Linux, and just the other day, Linux users finally surpassed the 1% mark of Steam user stats, which is pretty interesting stat. I expect that to keep rising as the Steam Deck is going to be Linux based, and Linux users are more than likely going to start increasing in popularity as the next operating system for Windows comes out, which is a whole different story that we can talk about in the future. There's very little in terms of physical discs for PC gaming for obvious reasons, the way that we've went to digital sales for most things.
When When would you guys say is the last time you've seen a physical PC game like in a retail shop that you can remember?
Like just saw one. Probably the last
Like
time I.
for sale. Like I mean, where trying to think exactly. So I don't even see them really anymore. Exactly. Like
So the last time I seen one was somebody actually ordered a physical copy of Call of Duty Modern Warfare for PC when I worked at Best Buy. Like, they had to order it in, but we like physically had a copy that we sold them.
huh.
It's weird seeing the box for it because it's like a normal Xbox PlayStation box, but it's all black
Hmm.
and like it's pretty cool. But realistically, the last time I like remember going to a store to like physically buy a PC game was probably Target. And when did World of Warcraft release? Or no, it would have been like Rainbow Six Vegas would have been the last one I got.
All right, I have a pretty
Okay.
accurate answer to this. Actually, it was 2015. I wanted to play GTA 5. It's got to be a thing in the water because GTA just keeps coming up today. I say that because I wrote all the notes. But anyways, uh, I purchased a physical copy of GTA because my internet was garbage. So in order to download that whole game, it would have taken me days. So I just went and bought the physical copy and put it on my computer and then downloaded the updates, which was, only like 18 hours of download instead of like 36 hours.
Crazy because so many people don't even have disk drives in their computer anymore. Like I don't even think people build them with a disk drive in it.
I do not have a disc drive in mine. I was gonna get an external one just so I could play the old PC games I have that are physical.
Mhm.
But is it worth it?
So I bought a when I first built my first ever PC. I can't even tell you what year it was, but way back in the day. uh, I've literally used the same disk drive in every single one. I just take it out and I put it in this one. I'm like, yep,
Yeah,
here we
I
go.
technically could do that too. I have a disc drive or an
That's all I do because
old
I'm like,
computer
well,
with a
if
disc
I
drive.
ever want to pop something in, and especially because back, um, probably like 5 years ago, you weren't able to play Diablo 2 without having a disc drive playing in this. Yeah, now they made it so you can do it digitally. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it
My
makes it easy.
my tower is the same tower I had in 2015. I've just updated the internals and it
Mhm.
has a disk drive but it's disconnected because I needed more room for wires for my hard drives because I have multiple hard drives now.
Mhm. Yeah, I was just curious about that because I don't even see them anymore. I think I've actually seen them in Target, but it's not like it used to be.
Yeah.
Like before, you'd walk in a Walmart and there'd be just like there was like a PC gaming section.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't even think there is one anymore.
I'm gonna look next time I go, just see what
Yeah,
kind of like Walmart equivalent games are being sold on the shelf. Maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe they're selling like AAA games.
if it's anything, it's probably Blizzard stuff. Honestly, if
Yeah.
if I were to take a wild guess,
It's probably like the same case as like your standard gaming case, but it's just like $80 in WoW currency or something.
yeah.
um, moving on, let me ask you guys this: what is your favorite launcher to use? And yes, this is a loaded question. Joe,
Steam. Steam. Period.
Brad.
Mine is I want it to be GOG, but everything I have is on Steam
Mm-hmm.
because I think I just like the fact that GOG like supports the old games because I'm sure you guys can kind of tell. If not, we'll as as podcasts go on, you'll learn I'm a very old school gamer. I like the old stuff better than almost new. Um, and because of that, it makes me always want to like support them more.
Yeah.
I just don't want to rebuy stuff on GOG.
So so I obviously use Steam the most, just like everybody else, but I really like GOG just because you can launch multiple launchers from GOG. Like you can import all the games from the different launchers, and if you want to go play one on BattleNet, you can click the game there, it'll launch it in the background, open up the game you want, and like you just have to log into one once you get everything set up. Now, unfortunately, I just use everything through Steam, even though I like prefer GOG because I'm just a animal of habit, I guess.
So you might be able to launch multiple launchers out of GOG. My computer cannot even launch GOG at this point. Like every time I start my computer, GOG pops up to sign in. Nothing in that bubble works for me to like click on to type. I can't physically close it without Task Manager force closing it. I uninstalled it and it still will pop up.
It sounds like you've
Wait.
done something incorrectly.
So did this just recently happen? Because it wasn't that long ago when we played Diablo 1.
Ever since then, like I went to play Diablo 1 by myself one day, and like it was broken. I was just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not touching that again.
Yep. That's the end of that. I think you can actually, if it's still installed in the background, like you can go into wherever
Yeah, I
it's saved
could
and
go
still
into my
launch it without
files.
GOG.
Yeah, I could fix GOG if I put effort into it, but Steam's just better. Steam is the superior race.
Mm-hmm. Speaking
Wow.
of Diablo, another month and some change, 2 months.
Oh, I'm gonna be so far. I might even lose my job.
Diablo Dos Resurrected. Well, let's not go to that extreme. Okay, I'm sure it's not
Yeah.
going to be a
No,
good
I'm kidding.
one.
Obviously, with all the talk, with PC and the fact that we don't even see any physical games anymore, we're mainly looking at digital games, and maybe it's not that big of a deal when it comes to PC stuff, but digital games are kind of taking over in even the console space too. Every year that passes by, digital game sales just rocket up more and more.
Mhm.
And this is, as an eye of a collector myself, not a good thing. I don't really like the fact that it's going all digital because what's scary to me is the fact that at some point the servers are going to be shut off, and unless they do something to actually back up and save this, data somewhere, save the game somewhere, it's just gone. I mean, we've seen some games just completely disappear.
Yep.
A perfect example, actually, for me, is there was a game called 3-on-3 NHL Hockey on the 360 and PS3.
No, it's not gone. Don't tell me it's gone.
Yeah, you can't unless you have it downloaded on your console, it's done.
Oh,
And
I definitely have it downloaded still.
thank God I have it downloaded on my 360 because that game is
thought you
one
meant
of the
like
best.
I thought you meant like even if I had it downloaded, they just like it
Oh,
doesn't
no.
exist anymore.
So like it's kind of like with the PT, right? PT's
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you have it downloaded, you can do it, but if you can't re-download it
Wait,
because
what is
they
PT?
took it off
No,
there.
from my
Label
understanding,
trailer
even
for
if
Silent
you
Hill.
uninstalled it, you could still reinstall it because it's in your games library, but you can't go in and, with a new console and install it now.
But you can't do that with PT.
You can.
No, you can't.
You can. My friend does it
No, you
constantly.
can't. It's literally proven if you have it in the thing. Watch a video.
Dude, I promise you.
I bet you $100 you can't do it.
I was over my
Oh,
friend's
I
house
bet
maybe
you
a
$100
month
you can't
ago,
do it.
and he goes, I say, can we play PT? He goes, yeah, let me install it.
You
He
can't
goes
install
into his
it.
game library and installs it. If you own it, you can install it and
You
uninstall
cannot.
it.
You
You
cannot.
can.
You cannot.
Where would
Okay.
he?
I'm not going to
pull
argue with
the-
it, but you're wrong.
You can't. It's as simple as that. Just look it up.
Go ahead.
I know it. I've literally know it because I've watched people do it.
I've literally
On
watched
YouTube.
somebody install it.
When?
Literally like a month and a half ago, I was over at my
Uh-huh.
friend's house.
Uh-huh.
He has it. That's the first time I ever played it.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It was probably already installed. He's just telling you that.
Okay.
Because
But I
it's not
watched him
possible.
do it. It is.
It's not.
But we're just being conceited and not considering anything else. It's
What do
physically
you mean?
possible. They talk about it on Reddit all the time.
No, they don't.
They
Because
do.
the thing is, if it was that simple, then people would literally just sell their PS4s that much.
They do.
Yes, they can't re-download it. That's why they're so expensive.
They're not that much more
Because-
expensive.
Okay.
Sounds like a quick Google could solve this problem.
Yes. But anyways, it's not that big of a deal. It's Silent Hill. It's Silent Hill PT. It's like 15-minute game.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's just a demo for Silent Hill. And but that's just an example of something that is gone though, where if you wanted to, if you missed out on it, you can't download it. If
Right.
you were somebody who didn't download it, you missed out. There is no going back and finding it. They don't have it available anywhere. If it comes up online, like for example, there was a guy trying to backwards, like he was trying to just basically build it back up,
Yeah, like backwards
and
compatibility or something.
yeah, he was just trying to build it so he could play it through. I think he was trying to make it so it was playable on PC, and it wasn't. And like Konami got a whiff of it, and they were like, "Nope, shut it down," or we're gonna press charges. So they just
Of course.
and that's the one thing that kind of sucks is that from a preservation standpoint, like there's going to be some things like I know Scott Pilgrim versus the World was a game for a while that people were worried about,
Yeah.
as they just randomly like took that down. A couple Disney games also.
So I hate to bring this up, but there is a way for collectors to kind of get their fix in a digital world, and the answer is NFTs.
Shut up.
Where you apply that blockchain technology to any digital copy you want, and that is your unique copy of whatever you've applied that technology to. But moving on, obviously PC gaming gives you access to the widest array of games. We've pretty much covered that, and Xbox is kind of combating this, making games more and more available to both Xbox and PC. So, it's interesting that they're kind of bridging the gap, and depending on how the future holds, like what the heck is PlayStation gonna do? They're gonna be like the lone console only, and then Nintendo and is gonna be doing their own thing. I don't know. A world without
Yeah, that's
competition
pretty much
between
what it's
Xbox
been
and
going on.
PlayStation. Yeah. Yeah.
It seems like I don't know. Like I know Joe and I were saying before, Nintendo is the weird kid that's just sitting in the corner doing their own thing,
Yeah.
and then PlayStation doesn't want to play fun with anybody,
Hmm.
and Xbox wants to be friends with everybody.
PlayStation, I could honestly see them being the lone kind of like serious console where they have these exclusive things, but the next generation PlayStation is going to be a standalone PC, like with its own operating system that's just segregated from the rest of the community. Like Apple, like an
I
iPhone.
mean, we can make the argument that it already is at that point.
Right, but they,
It's
they have they still have kind of like that competition with Xbox, but the gaps are closing, the walls are disintegrating between.
I think the big thing is if they don't do something, they're going to lose. Like they need to change their mentality because they're very stuck on like we're only here, we only play with ourselves, we don't want to have crossplay, which I think was one of the biggest things is they were trying to, I can't remember what game it was it Fortnite,
Mm-hmm.
was it Fortnite or
Fortnite,
Rocket League or something?
Call of Duty, Rocket League,
Yeah.
Smite.
It's a
Eh,
hard problem to solve because on one hand, as a consumer, you want them to be more cross-platform available, right? But on the other hand, are they going to kill their own community, their own survivability if they become more and more cross-platform? Because what's the what's the incentive for people to get a PlayStation if you can play everything on all the other platforms? You know?
Exclusives.
Okay, what if they only have 5 exclusives? Are you going to
They
spend
don't.
$600 on a console just to get these exclusives? Why not just play it on a PC?
Do you want my actual answer to that?
I want your fake
As I
answer.
sit here with a PlayStation 5 simply because I wanted to play Demon Souls.
Right. So in the future, what if like when Demon Souls comes to PC? Immediately.
But uh, if it came to PC immediately, I wouldn't have bought it.
There you go.
But then it wouldn't be exclusive.
So the only reason that you have the PlayStation, your own words, is because they have an exclusive game that you wanted to play.
So,
But then
that
you wouldn't have
mentality, though,
crossplay with
So
exclusives.
the fewer and fewer exclusives they have, the fewer people they're going to get to purchase the console because there's just fewer games that people will want or have the necessity to use the console.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, if it wasn't for exclusives, I probably would have kept going with Xbox because the 360, in my opinion, was better than the PS3. And I think everybody like owned a 360 for the most part in like the high school days. That was like the console. And realistically, it was like, okay, what controller do you like better? Do you want them, next to each other, or do you want them offset? That was basically the differentiator for me.
Mm-hmm.
But then once I started getting into like the Uncharted's and the Last of Us and whatnot, that was really the only reason that kept me kind of more in the PlayStation's realm. But uh it's also just people who want to sit down on the couch, like I said. Obviously, yes, we all know that you can build a PC and hook it up to your TV
Mm-hmm.
and play it that way, but I think the average Joe doesn't want to do that.
Right. We kind of touched on it a little bit, but there is a convenience to just buying a console and not having to worry about modifying it or updating it or making sure certain things are compatible and blah blah blah. Like it just never ends. You get a PlayStation, you just open it up, start it up, drop the
Yeah.
game in,
But
download
at
it.
the same time, the updates are kind of, I don't know, like updates used to be a thing that it was like mainly a PC thing, but every time I turn on my PlayStation, I have an update. Like it's just constantly updating. Games are updating. The firmware it's
That's a fair
nonstop
point.
because
It's still hands
back,
off though.
yeah, but like back in the day, I guess the mentality was more of like the games are complete because there was no a patch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where now they're, I mean, they're putting out unfinished product, which I don't really care for because then, like we said, when the servers are down, you can't download that patch. It's kind of over.
Right. And that Pandora's box has been opened and it's never gonna close again. Like that's just where we've moved to, where we've we produce games so doggone fast, like you can't even finish it before you release it. It's a shame.
That's the one thing I typically like to nod my head to Nintendo for is making sure their games are polished on release.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, they'll get a few patches here and there, but they're far and few between. But in regards to like the updating, my PC, I'm gonna make the argument that it's just as hands off as my PlayStation. With like the what is it called? Like the GeForce experience or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, I click update, and it does everything.
Yeah, it that being a contrarian to myself, it is exactly hands on as you want it to be, right? If you want to just buy a PC and not have to build it yourself, you use it for 4 years before you go take it to some geek somewhere to update whatever parts and clean out whatever viruses you have and and then go about your day.
So I I think what it is nowadays it's not. They made it so much easier where realistically everything's just hands off. But it was back in the day where you'd update something and then it would like some program wouldn't be compatible with the update. It was more of that stuff that I think is what people were um pulled away from PC gaming. They didn't want to do the upgrades, they didn't want to deal with updating and have stuff kind of break. But they're also looking at it through the lens of, oh, back in like 2008 it was this way, and don't realize that now it's 2021 and it's not not as difficult.
Moving on, most PC games don't require any kind of subscription. Of course, there are the
World of
WoWs,
Warcraft.
the monsters that do. How do
Blizzard.
you guys feel about that, anyways? Like subscribing to WoW to play it.
So on their end, Blizzard's end, it's free money.
Yeah,
On the consumer end, it is a terrible idea to have to buy the game. One.
and then
So
subscribe to it.
and then you subscribe to it, and those subscriptions don't include the yearly patch that they put out that you have to buy again.
Right?
So it's just like, what am I paying for the subscription for?
the
Yeah.
ability to play the game, boss. That's what
The
you
game that I
doesn't-
bought.
the privilege. You're
It doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, it makes actually more sense now because WoW is technically free to play to like a certain level. I
Yeah,
don't
and
know
then-
what it is.
I think
So
it's
you buy the game,
25.
and then you could get the very, very basic content, but you still only could get up to a certain level, and then you're locked again because you can't. You have to pay.
Does
to
WoW
play.
even cost anything though? I don't even know.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
thought like you could just download it off their site right now for
You
free.
could and
and
get up to
then-
like level 15, and then
Yeah.
you boot it out, and then you pay for the game, and you could play up to like level 30, and then you're booted out, and then you
Oh,
gotta
see, I thought it was
have a
you
subscription.
you had to
go
have
any
the
farther.
subscription to get past that level. But that's even worse.
Yeah, the base subscription is like 15 or 14 bucks a month, and then like if you buy it like on a 6-month or an annual basis, it changes. But it's it costs you continuous money to play that game. But
I
And
mean,
then if you want
for-
to actually play with your friends, you got to make sure you buy the latest expansion.
yeah,
Crazy.
it's I'm a firm believer of if it's something that you have fun and you enjoy and it's free to play in quotes, like I don't like Hearthstone's technically free to play, but it's something I enjoy, so obviously I don't mind when I like pre-order the expansions.
Right.
It makes sense. But it's a little sleazy, it seems, when you're like, hey, you have to buy the game, pay for the subscriptions, pay for the expansions, pay for that unicorn mount that you want. Just kind of go on from there.
Yeah,
It's just a money dump.
yeah. Now that we've talked crap on WoW, I can sleep tonight.
I remember whenever ESO Elder Scrolls Online first came out, they originally had a subscription-based thing.
Yeah,
They wiped that real quick.
Yeah. I'm really happy with how that game has kind of developed over time. They've got a pretty good market, I will say.
It seems crazy that WoW, from a ignorant person's standpoint who doesn't play MMOs, is really the only people really getting away with doing stuff like that, though. Because everybody else that's tried to do stuff like ESO has kind of had some backlash, and then they kind of have to tread backwards, I feel.
Right. Yeah.
And do some like consumer friendly things where I don't feel like WoW has done many things that are consumer friendly.
Yep. Right place, right time. Same as
Yeah.
Steam. Moving on. If we're gonna talk about PC gaming, we have to talk about mods, right? We mentioned that people can make a living just from the Steam workshops, making mods and people donating to them to use their modifications to different various games. So it was super cool. But as far as that goes, mods have been around on PCs for decades, and they're just now slipping their way into consoles in a limited fashion. So the consoles have a lot of ways to go if they're going to compete with PC gaming and their ability to modify games.
I think
Mods?
I think Skyrim, the one negative thing for that game is PC, the mods are all free, and then on console you had to pay for them at one point.
There
But
were
then
some
they
that
all-
were free.
Um, I'm sure that there were some, but like there were definitely some. I remember they were like getting all upset about how it was like you had to
Yeah.
pay for some of them.
So this might be a point of controversy here, but the Minecraft Bedrock edition that Microsoft runs, I actually really support their online store for uh, downloads. They're basically they took the Java edition mods and put them on Bedrock, but it's all the random dudes and ladies that have made these modifications that can now profit from uh, their creations a little bit easier. So
Mm.
yes, the end user has to pay, but I feel like it's not that much of a cost to just support somebody doing all this work for you. You know, if you're gonna enjoy Ark in Minecraft, you might as well pay somebody $4 or whatever. You know, whatever mods you
Or
find out there.
I would gladly pay the creator of the mod $4, but realistically, knowing two of those $4 are probably going straight to Microsoft.
Right. I mean, they're going to get their cut, but at least you're supporting the original person. I mean, only one mod that I have on the Bedrock edition is like a Greek mod, which is like the whole of Mount Olympus and various different buildings and stuff is built into this Minecraft seed, and I paid like 99 cents for it. It was amazing, you know.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own. I'm more of a fan of Java that I could just get it for free and donate directly to the person, but that's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Probably just like anything else, just convenience fees for some stuff, you know,
Mm-hmm.
where I don't know exactly, but I'm guessing it's a few more hoops you got to jump through for Java versus the Bedrock edition.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on to talk about like monitors. Uh, PC monitors have been specifically designed for gaming to have gaming versions, which are able to optimize like input latency, refresh rate. I don't know about you guys. I have a multi-monitor setup. I have my 144 hertz 1080p monitor for my like competitive gaming. I have my side monitor, which is like 60 hertz 1080p. That's just my YouTube machine. And
Yeah,
then I
your tube
have
TV.
then I have it's not currently hooked up to my PC, but it's hooked up to my PlayStation, which is a 4K 144 hertz. It's refresh rate on the 4K is a little bit slower than the main gaming 144, but they different optimizations, different costs. I don't know how your guys are set up.
Yeah, I've got two identical Asus 144 hertz monitors that I got from a friend when he was upgrading his, and then I've got a 32-inch Scepter TV I purchased a long time ago off of a Black Friday sale. It weighs about 2 ounces, and I have it mounted to like an arm that has it like attached to my desk and hovering above me. And since we're all sharing our cameras, that's why I'm always like looking up to the right because you're on my big TV.
I just have two monitors set up for now. I have a third monitor that's in my it's actually at my mom's house because back when Smash Bros came out, uh funny story, ex-girlfriend was weird and we had to play at my mom's in the basement without her knowing, like on the DL. So I brought this monitor that I had. I brought brand new, hooked it all up with speakers and everything, and we like had like a 24-hour game session. It's been sitting there since that day.
Wait, at her house?
And my mom's
Oh,
in the
at your
basement.
mom's. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
my buddy and I we went there to play it, and we played like the entire time. Just and she had to work like the entire day, so I was kind of lucky on that.
Nice.
Sounds dumb, but they're super basic monitors. Honestly, I could probably due for an upgrade on them, but
Mm-hmm.
they're good enough. I have my 4K TV next to me, but it's not hooked up to the computer.
What do you play your console games on?
A 4K TV.
Okay, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's it's like a 55-inch TCL, which
Oh,
is like a more budget brand, but
yeah. Yeah.
It does its job, honestly. That was
Yes.
all I wanted to do.
So moving on, our final note here is PCs for me go over the top with their ability to just be flexible in all things technology. You can stream your movies, TV, work from your PCs, especially now in a remote work environment, and just the internet, man. Like it's your internet window. I don't know if you guys have anything else other than that,
No,
but
I mean, just you could stream movies and TV on almost everything
it's
now.
just
Just
not.
kind of,
It's just not the same. It's not.
I I would
Ah.
say work and browsing the internet, it's definitely not the same. Because like, yes, you can browse the internet on a console, but my God, if you guys try to browse the internet with like a controller or like
hmm
your like remote for the built-in Roku machines or whatever, it is abysmal.
I'm
The
gonna
best
say it. The PSP was good for the internet.
the best
That
setup
was
I've seen that wasn't a PC is my buddy Mohammed has a keyboard and mouse wireless hooked up to his PlayStation, where he basically uses it as a PC.
mm,
And like anytime he searches something, it's not like scrolling through the letters trying to find. He just quickly types it and goes about
oh,
his day.
that's one thing I really wish that I had hooked up because
Mm-hmm.
when I'm home hanging out, working, I always throw like YouTube on and I'm like, I'll search for something random. And it takes like 15 minutes to search for the one
I,
thing.
I do not know how people do it. I hate that.
Oh, it's brutal. It's brutal. I think it's almost like I'm more lazy to like it's like this laziness thing where I don't wanna make it easier because I could just sit there and just move my one thumb rather than like get up and find something else to like hook up. It involves more steps, but I'm gonna be taking a longer time.
Anyways, now that you've heard what we have to say, we want to hear from you. When and how did you start your PC adventure? Are you a part of the PC Master Race, or do you play on multiple platforms like us? Let us know on Twitter at envision_org. Email us at envisiongamingpodcast@gmail.com. And also write in the YouTube comments. We read every comment. Have a good day. Thanks for listening.